Hey, Buttercup. Hey, Uncle Buck. What do you think, Buttercup? Should I do like a full Let's Play of Press A? Yeah. I sort of did like, a couple hours last night, but like, full hour, like full Let's Play, got 100% on it. Hey, Shelly. I started panting when he saw that. Hey, attendees. Getting to 100 years old, isn't he? I mean, he's still living, though. Like, that's the thing. He's still going strong. Just, well, no, like I said, he's still making movies. He's got Spaceballs 2 in the works right now, you know? And he's reprising his roles from the first one. Whatever. I'm annoyed at the fact that I don't seem to have any hours at work this week. Because I checked my schedule again earlier today and there's still nothing for this coming week. 0 hours. So, sending out applications again. Applied for a couple jobs last night. Because I need a job that has actual hours. So. Fuck capitalism. Indeed. That's contract bullshit. Mm. And I only got 3.5 hours. I only got 3.5 hours this past week because they let me go half an hour early on Thursday. So it's fruit fly season again. Dang it. No fruit. To have like some because like last night when I went when I did my groceries last night, I got like some fried chicken at the hot food counter. So leftovers of that, like the so like the remains of that. I need a garbage can with a lid. But I think it's also just like a seasonal thing. Yeah, it's hot weather. I got spots in my ass. What would I recommend? Mm. I don't know. I'm not allowed to give medical advice anymore. Not since the incident. What incident? My lawyer doesn't like me talking about it, so Anywho, plane crash in French with the skydivers. I did not. Sounds pretty unfortunate. Learned anything interesting since yesterday? Not really. Yeah, nothing I can really think of. Dick Van Dyke is also 100. Dick. Dick Van Dyke. That's a funny name. More importantly, though, Dick Van Dyke's still alive? I could have sworn he was dead. His brother Jerry died. I'm going to name my child Come Gay. Spilled your strawberry lemonade. Oof. Spilling drinks sucks. Such a pain in the ass. Like Brendan, if it was done so far since December. Hey, Killface. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Chuck Norris. Fuck Chuck Norris. The Dawson's Creek guy. Catherine O'Hara. Yeah. Pretty quiet this year, not too many. Yeah, probably a lot. Killface, one of the best people you've met online. She is pretty great. Killface is definitely great. Hey, Donna. Picked it up like it wasn't full to the top and it kind of slung. Ah. I don't know, coconut popsicles and fruit roll-ups today. I had not even heard that was a thing. Let's print on my shirt. It's Jubilee of the X-Men. Love me some Jubilee. She's great. Son of Electra. Yeah, definitely sounds like an interesting thing. Don't think I'd want to try that. Not too keen on coconut flavor. Crunchy and sweet and delicious. Mandarin tropical fruit. Roll-ups. Coconut cherry. Limeade outshine bars. Jar challenge? What is the jar challenge? I don't even know what a jar challenge is. Is it where you stick your dick in a jar? One man, one jar. You get a jar and make sure you have towel put down. Yeah, I don't think I want to stick a jar up my ass. What? If I want the spoiler on what? Your asshole's so tight right now. You'll see your own way. I have no idea what the hell's going on right now. Boppers. Pass. Oh, jar broke in his ass and blood gushed everywhere. Ah, I see, I see. Can I confuse? Well, that was one that I've heard of. I never watched it, but I'd heard of Two Girls, One Cup. Not a Face of the Death Watcher? I am not, no. I don't know what Faces of Death is. No. So what's it most? Yeah. But no, I think. Yeah, as far as like fucked up, yeah, I mean, neither of us really watched fucked up shit. I think there might have been a decapitation video we came across once. I think that was about the most like the most legitimately fucked up thing we watched. Does anyone wants to do getting his insides rearranged by a horse? Don't think I encountered that one. The Funky Town? No. No, I think like I don't think it was like even like a meme video. I think it was like one of those just flip phone times. Motorola phones are so good. Yeah. Yeah, they were probably among the better brands. Motorola was probably one of the better phone brands, phone manufacturers back in the day. Um, Nokia was also pretty good. I feel like Sony Ericsson was pretty mediocre, and Siemens, Siemens, love Snake. Knows so shit at it. Yeah, I never got very good at Snake either. And then, of course, early iPhones were shit. The first 2 or 3 iPhones were pure shit. Just did not work as phones. BlackBerry. BlackBerry was generally good, yeah. That said, BlackBerry was like for professional shit. Say Steven? Or actually wood? Wood. Yeah, BlackBerry was like really good like for sort of professional contexts. Um, not particularly useful for just everyday use, which I think might have been sort of the thing that really fucked it over. Yeah, it was a fad for a little while, but like it's just nobody needed a BlackBerry outside of businesses. And then smartphones came along and were sort of able to do a lot of the stuff that Blackberries were designed for, but smartphones were more stylish. So Turn Obama had one at the same time. And now, of course, nobody has a BlackBerry. Are Blackberries even still a thing? No, they were discontinued. 2016 sounds about right. And someone else took it over for a couple of years. And 2020, it was the final hardware production. And 2022, its web services ended. It got backlash because it wasn't government secured. And now everybody in government uses, you know, either Apple or Android. And I would expect that neither is secure as secure as we would like. Monopolies. Yep. Yay, monopolies. Who doesn't love monopolies? The game. The game also kind of sucks, frankly. Or it's not that it sucks. It's just kind of awful to play. To flip the board screen. It's just it takes forever. I also went to the prep parade today. Nice, nice. Like she's somewhere getting drunk. They should have been home by now. Well, good for her. The game takes a long time, and it does often get frustrating. And then you reach a point where it's like, where you can't win. Like you reach a point where there's no way for you to win, but you have to keep playing for another 30 fucking minutes before you can lose. You know, it's like that's the worst part. Is losing takes forever. In Monopoly. buy a house in hotels and then have to sell them. So I never win. Yeah. Hey, positive. I haven't watched it, and I don't imagine that I will be watching it. What I am reading about it, like what I'm hearing about it, is that it's fine. It's okay. Lousy auntie told her to have fun, be safe, but it's time to go home. Better get your fucking ass home. Yeah, like that's sort of like the like what I've been seeing people saying is, it's fine. Yeah, like it's not like it's movie of the year, but it's not as bad as the chuds try to make it out to be. Campaigning against the actress looks, which is stupid because she's a genuinely attractive woman. Like people trying to claim that she's somehow unattractive, like fuck off. She's a lovely woman. And not even like and like conventionally attractive. Like she's a conventionally attractive woman. Legitimately. Like there she is. It's not even like she's like attractive in an unconventional way. No, she's a pretty young woman. I'll throw a guac at her. Hopefully the movie doesn't flop. Yeah. Yeah, all those fucking rage grifters have to pretend that she's somehow not attractive. Like it's fuck off, dudes. Also, Fox News like bitching about her being bi in the movie, and it's like apparently there's literally like no romance at all in the entire fucking movie. Like, there's just not a single romantic element. At least not regarding Supergirl herself. And Fox News like, oh, you're making her bi so they can be woke. You didn't even watch the movie, fuckers. Apparently, I think it's based on something the actress, like a comment that the actress had made. I think it was based on like just a like an offhand comment that the actress had made. But rage grifter's gonna rage grift. So didn't see anything big about her sexual preference. Yeah, like I said, apparently, I think it was just like a comment that the actress had made. Yeah, like there's a few different groups who are going after Supergirl for their own reasons. There's you know the right wing chuds who are just going after it because you know it's a movie where with a it's a superhero movie with a female protagonist, and you know these people will always be way more critical of a movie with a female protagonist than a movie with a male protagonist, with a white male protagonist at least. Um, so there's that group. There's also the fucking Snyder Bros who will not give the fuck up, who will not shut the fuck up about Zack Snyder. Those fucking that fucking Snyder cult, who are just who believe that Zack Snyder is the only person in the entirety of the entire fucking world capable of doing DC movies. No one else should ever be allowed to do a movie based on DC. Zack Snyder alone, just him and only him. He's the only one who should be allowed to make DC movies. The fucking Snyder occultists need to shut the fuck up. Get the fuck over themselves. But yeah, those are the two main groups going after Supergirl. Right wing assholes and Snyder cultists who hate it because James Gunn was involved with it. Snow White, Captain Marvel, Cinderella, and now Supergirl. So, in the cases of Snow White and Cinderella and all the other live action remakes, fuck Disney's live action remakes in general. But yeah, like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was a good movie. Like, yeah, like, the people were going after it because, you know, They had to, but it was a good movie. It had problems, like, it wasn't perfect. It had some issues. I still think Just a Girl was bad choice of song for that big fight scene near the end of the movie. Like, I do think that was like just, I do think it's just a bad choice for that fight scene. They went after the actress before Snow White was released. Yeah, they did. And like there were some people who like, you know, Snow White's supposed to have pale skin, dark hair, and ruby red lips. Like that's what Snow White is supposed to look like. Very pale skin, very dark hair, very red lips. That's what Snow White is supposed to look like. So there were some people where, legitimately, it was just like, she's a little, the actress isn't pale enough. Um, but a lot of the criticism was just rooted in, there was a lot of criticism rooted in racism. Just straight up racism. And yeah. And, same thing happened with Little Mermaid, whose whose race is irrelevant to the story. Yeah, like for the Little Mermaid, what color her skin is genuinely not relevant to the story. Snow White was better than the cartoon. I have my doubts, frankly. I'm fundamentally opposed to the live action remakes of Disney's cartoon movies. I was like when I was 10 in the movie theater. 60 to 80,000 individual hairs were in Aki's head in Spirits Within. They still bagged it out. I'm not sure what bagged it out means. Yeah, I don't really remember the Snow White movie, like the animated feature. I haven't watched the live action Snow White. I'm not going to watch the live action Snow White. Fuck Disney as a whole. I don't really remember the animated Snow White. I'm honestly not sure if I've actually seen that one. Like, come to think of it, I'm not totally sure if I've watched the animated Snow White. I think probably ragged on it. Oh, like criticized it. Well, I think Spirits Within got flack for the story. Like, I think the criticism of Spirits Within was a bit of uncanny valley with the animation, but also primarily like people just were not impressed with the story. I think that was the big need to watch Owl House. That one's good. I reacted to a few episodes on my Patreon. I did react to a few episodes of Owl House over on my Patreon page, so excited about Hex. I feel like I've heard about Hex. I feel like I've seen the name mentioned. It is a really good show. Western didn't get the Eastern concepts. That is definitely a thing often. Watching the My Melody and Kuromi show reaction. I'm enjoying that one. I love Kuromi. Hey, Catherine. We're talking cartoons. Uncle Buck, it's a couple minutes before Tylenol. I'm gonna get more water. I'll be back in a minute. Back. Still weird to me that like Disney canceled the Owl House. I think basically for attracting the wrong audience. Like as I recall, like that was basically what it was. Like is or no, it's like I think it's darker. No, like or I think it's actually like the show was darker, I think, than Disney wanted. I think that's what it was. Or no, actually no, it was the audio. Um the show's creator was told that executives felt it didn't fit into the Disney brand. Um Due to the serialized nature of the show and an audience that skews older. So yeah, basically, like it just the wrong audience for them is the audience that doesn't spend cash. Not just it's like like it attracted an audience that was older than what Disney wanted. But it's like, dude, Hey, Buttercup. I already reminded her. But welcome back. We're talking cartoons. But like, it's weird to me that like I can understand. I don't know. You know, they want a younger audience now, but I mean, like, it's viewers are viewers. Just don't see that being like the main moneymaker for Disney World and other locations. People are dropping like 50K for a long weekend. Yeah. Start watching it for Summerween. There is there is a site that has the entire show. What was it? The Owl. What was that show? Or what was that site? The Owl Club. So yeah, theowlclub.net. Full series is on there. What's interesting is like Dana Terrace, the creator of the Owl House, doesn't actually think that the queer representation, because there's like a same sex, like, there was a same sex couple as like a major part of the show. Luce, like the main character, Luce, is in a relationship with another girl, Amity, and there's other queer characters as well. And she doesn't think that that actually played a role in the show's cancellation, which is interesting. I feel like Disney has sort of backed off on queer rep since then. Not for that particular cartoon. I mean, it's tough to tell. I mean, like, a lot of producers, a lot of executives, or a lot of executives really uncomfortable with queer representation in kids' cartoons, in kids' media in general. Like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Disney was one of the first companies to have a gay CEO, which doesn't necessarily mean that they would be more open to gay content. Go where the money, where the audience is, or lose their ass. In theory, but again, I can point to fucking Warner as a counterexample, though. I can point to David Zaslav over at Warner Brothers as a perfect counterexample of going where the money is or going where the audience is, because he was the fucker who decided to can uh, Coyote versus Acme. pushing entertainment no one wants can only go on so long. Yeah, you'd think. But, like, I don't know. We're talking corporations, which don't always behave, which often don't behave logically. And especially these days where, like, increasingly entertainment companies are being used by billionaires as ways of spreading their agendas. But as far as, like, um maybe because people are mad about Hex coming out. I think it's Alice without LGBT characters. Is that a Disney show? Oh, is it Hexed? Hexed, okay. Chicken the chicken. Yeah. Teen girl named Billy who discovers magic abilities that take her from suburbia into Hex. Mother-daughter fantasy story. All right, fair enough, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Disney, like, for all that Disney wants to present itself as a progressive company, and they really do try to present themselves that way. They really want to be seen as a progressive company. They're not really. A couple of their shows have had, queer content, which, yay. But, like, their movies, any queer shit tends to be very, very minor and easily cut. Like, oh, hey, these two ladies kissing in the background for 2 frames. Covered health insurance to gay couples before gay marriage was legal. Which, I mean, frankly, frankly, in this day and age, a company offering health insurance at all is actually worth complimenting. But That was decades ago. But yeah, feeling they're leaning more towards a moderate view now to cap sales. With a bit of the shift in general behavior. Yeah, they're. I get the feeling Disney's in a bit of a scramble these days. Like, last year when Trump put out that anti-DEI executive order, Disney sort of went along with it. Disney sort of like, oh well, I guess we have no choice. We have to, we have to cut those efforts. Oh, no, it's not us. We have to. We don't have a choice here. And no one was happy. Like the more progressive elements of their audience were obviously really pissed about it. The more conservative elements of their audience continued to hate them for, and claim they were woke because they cast a black girl as the Little Mermaid. And then bulk of the audience wouldn't have known one way or the other. Like bulk of the audience would neither know nor care one way or the other. So like absolutely like that made absolutely no one happy. Never ascribe ourselves and values to corporations. Yeah. Another dynamic. Yeah. Oh. Good night, positive. And I think Disney's sort of like turning back a bit on the anti DEI stuff. Like they're when they like went along with it, they're sort of backpedaling on that a little bit. They are really trying to find some way of pleasing as many people as possible, it really is a try to please everyone and actually please no one, as Positive said. So need to stop all that shit and just produce what the people want. But what do the people want? And do the people know what they want? People will tell you with their money. They know it works. Every movie is a risk. Yeah, like give people what they want it's not that easy. Like we're audiences itching for a Barbie movie. We're audiences itching for a live action Barbie movie. I don't think people were really. I don't think general audience was itching for that. And yet, when it came out, all these people, that audience was like, oh, I had no idea that I wanted this. I feel like a lot of time, audiences don't actually know what they actually want. They think they do. Straight for the TikTok Disney adult ladies. It is more than that, though. Like, it is. Like I said, like when it was first announced, I think there was as from what I remember, when it was first announced, there was a lot of skepticism. It's like a live action Barbie movie. Who needs that? And then the first trailer dropped, the first teaser dropped, and people were like, "Oh, that looks really interesting. That actually looks really good." The other retro live action remakes. Hey, Hamburger Eyes. The first Iron Man movie was a huge risk. Um, Shit, Little Mermaid back in the day was a huge risk. Paid off, but a lot of the time, audiences don't actually know exactly what they want. They think they do, but when they get what they think they want, they're usually underwhelmed. TP. Yeah, but to that, I would say I don't think most of the audience knew they wanted a Deadpool movie. Truth is, people don't give a shit about comics. The comic book audience is small. The vast majority of people who went to watch the Deadpool movie had no idea who Deadpool was, had never heard of the character. Um, so the general audience didn't know they wanted that movie. But then it came out, and it was wildly different from any superhero movie they'd seen before. And they wanted the different, more grit humor. Again, I don't think the audience knew they wanted that. I don't think the audience knew they wanted something different. Kind of looked like Spidey. That's what maybe caught their eye. Yeah, it's, superhero movie. People like superhero movies, so they went, yeah, sure, I'll go watch the superhero movie. Marketing was effective. They weren't expecting filthy humor and ultra violence right off the bat. And as far as audience feedback goes, what part of the audience are you going to listen to? Star Wars, the Star Wars sequel trilogy is a good example. The Last Jedi was the best of those three movies. Far and away. Absolutely far and away the best of the sequel trilogy. It was the only one that actually had anything interesting to fucking say. The only one that wasn't just bogged down with nostalgia masturbation. Um, it was also the one that got the most rabid hatred online. Like Force Awakens, big hit. Force Awakens, it was a big hit. Um, Warhammer Nerds and Catch. Yeah. Last Jedi came out, and certain section of the internet hated it. Just spent all their time raging about it. And Disney listened to those people. And for Rise of Skywalker, they went back to, a more traditional, more familiar grounds. And it sucked. One of the weakest Star Wars movies ever. And why was Rise of Skywalker so bad? Because Disney thought they were listening to the audience. Current main reading case probably has about 3K worth of remastered Marvel comics. We dropped coin. Though to be fair, that is nothing to Disney. Someone gets next to my bed. Yeah, but my point, as far as the comics go, Disney could not give less of a shit about Marvel comics. Legitimately, Disney could. Marvel's comic division is an absolute drop in the bucket as far as Disney, where Disney makes its money. They don't care. Movies bring new generations of comics. Do they? Do the movies bring in new comic book readers? I'm not so sure they do. A small number, but I don't think they bring a lot of. I don't think they actually do bring in that many readers. I also think Marvel is fucking abysmal. The absolute fucking worst at capitalizing on potential new viewers. Just they have no fucking idea how to capitalize on potential new readers. Not the slightest clue, and they never have. Like, oh hey, this character is gonna play a very prominent role in an upcoming movie. Okay, so 2 years after the movie comes out, we'll give that character a miniseries that is bogged down in continuity minutiae that even most of the dedicated fans don't even remember. Yay! This character is going to play a major role in an upcoming movie. Okay, we'll put out a series uh, that does huge retcons to their backstory without even knowing, like, to make the character, to make the character feel, a little bit more grounded for the movie. Oh, what's that? The movie doesn't isn't even is going with the original backstory. It's fine. Like the shit they did to America Chavez. Like what the fuck was that? Like America Chavez had a perfectly fine origin story, and then they announced, it's revealed that she's gonna be in that Doctor Strange movie. So okay, so let's come up with a more grounded backstory for her. So they do this big retcon to her origin. And then what does the movie do? Her original fucking origin. So they retconned her origin for no fucking reason in the comics. Synergy. They're bad at it. Pig and elephant DNA just won't splice. I mean, do you want pig and elephant DNA to splice? Potbelly elephants? I mean, elephants are already pretty big, though. Do they need potbellies? I don't know what a potbelly elephant would even look like. How would it differ from a regular elephant? South Park? Ah. Oh, I might remember that. I might vaguely remember that. Like they put on some mood music for them. Chicken's done. Nice, nice. It's one reason I'm going to be glad when my brown rice is done. It takes longer to cook. And isn't as good, honestly. I don't like brown rice as much as white rice. Brown rice just isn't as good. And also just takes too damn long to cook. White rice takes long enough. Brown rice takes even longer. It's annoying. And the teleporter so I can make you dinner. I mean, I'm fine with my rice. Yeah, I just you have 0 woods. Nah. Smashing rice with a mesquite smoked beef ribs. Ribs are pretty good. So here, just took you to the bathroom with me. Anyway, I suppose tonight I'll record a reaction to 2020's cartoon intros. I did finish recording the 2010's cartoon intros. It's now just 2020's. Yeah, 2010's cartoon intros were pretty weak. Like the 2010's ones. Cartoon intros have gotten shorter. Yeah, it used to be 30 seconds minimum was the standard. Like at least 30 seconds, sometimes longer. Was, but in the 2010s, it did seem to shorten. A lot of them were like 20 seconds. Some were even shorter than that. 2020 is kind of lame for cartoons. I need to catch up on those bits now that I've got a chunk of my life back. I mean, 2020, like Owl House, Ghost and Molly McGee, I think was 2020s. I don't watch a lot of cartoons, so I can't really say. But I feel like there have been other ones in the 2020s that have been good. When did Kipo in the age? Kipo, I think, was 2020, was 2010s, I think. Pretty sure Kipo was 2010s. No, 2020. Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts debuted in 2020. And that one was great. I loved that cartoon. Loved that series. I feel like there were other ones as well. It'll be that way for me again, unless the 80s, 90s, at least not a cartoon awesome. I will say that's a big part of why I am fundamentally opposed to nostalgia. When you get hung up on the past, it blinds you to great shit in the present. Like if I was hung up on the music that I grew up with in the 90s. If I was just like, oh no, music's gone downhill since the 90s. Then I wouldn't be able to enjoy Black Honey or Wolf Alice, Bent Knee, Honeymoon, The Go Team, Mama. And to be fair, like none of that is mainstream. None of it is mainstream stuff, but the point is, it's newer. A lot of good out, but I think it's been a lot of throwing shit at the wall. Which is always how it's been. It's always been throw things at a wall to see what sticks. Isn't that technically what painting is? Yeah. Painting. You throw stuff at a wall and see what sticks. No. Lunch here, not dinner. I have no advice, Shelly. Tell you test your noodle, done this exactly. Think I hate that too fast. Could be. Yeah, let's take a look. Just take a look at the. Just gonna take a look at the playlist I found for 2020's cartoons. Owl House, Ghost and Molly McGee, Moon Girl, which I didn't watch, but I heard a lot of good things about. And I have actually watched the intro. It's a good intro. Question: did you watch the Moon Girl cartoon, Catherine? I loved the comic back in the day. That was such a good comic. Yeah, I'm curious if you watched the cartoon. I didn't. I was boycotting Disney by that point, so I didn't watch that one. Which, honestly, one of the only ones I'm disappointed about missing, because it looked really good. I've seen clips. Like, I've seen clips of it, and that show does look really fucking good. Uh, what else? Yeah, Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts. Yeah, there's the Animaniacs return, King of the Hill return. My Adventures with Superman, I've heard really good things about. Invincible seems to be pretty popular. Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, both very popular. Haunted Hotel, I think I've heard good things about. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Bunch more Pokemon, obviously. That fucking thing never goes away. Young Jeffrey. Who's Young Jeffrey? Young Jeffrey from what? Wade's little water puppy. Oh, Jeff the Landshark? Do you mean Jeff the Landshark? Shit, I remember when he debuted in West Coast Avengers as Gwenpool's pet. From your mom. And I remember when she gave him to Deadpool because I loved West Coast Avengers. I honestly, I think that Kelly Thompson writes phenomenal action sequences. There's a little book. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, he's kicked off. So good. Yeah, Kelly Thompson. I love that she always, like, her books always have these really cool layouts. Like, they've always got splash pages with really cool layouts that allow the artist to just go wild. I love that about her books. They've all her, I remember like her Hawkeye run was like that. I feel like West Coast Avengers not so much actually, but I remember her Hawkeye run. One of the things I loved about her Hawkeye run was just the double page spreads with really cool layouts for the artists. And I think obviously her run on Gem and the Holograms is phenomenal. Just let the artist. Yeah, absolutely. I have to pee. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, I do wonder what happened to the art of the cartoon intro. Like I said, it used to be, every cartoon had a 30-second intro. Minimum. Some cases some had even longer. But for some reason in the 2010s, they started getting a lot shorter. And a lot of cartoons didn't even have intros, just title cards. And I wonder why that is. Like, I wonder why that changed. Attention span went bye-bye. I don't think it's that. Yeah, and just in general, like there were still some good intros. Some of them some of them were still really good, but even the ones that did have sort of full intros, some of them were weirdly bland. How popular as an insane short attention span. Right, but I feel like that can't really explain why cartoon intros went away. It's not like the intros were, required an intense amount of attention. Yeah, even for the ones that do still have like full intros, some of those intros were just really bland and generic. The music, at least, I should say. Some of them had to end up having just like really generic theme songs. Supposed to get you in the mood for the show. Anything's longer than 30 seconds, the average person's going to space off. Space up. make them watch more than 30 seconds, they might change the channel. Yeah, like there were two How to Train Your Dragon cartoons in the 2010s, and they both just had like the most generic theme songs. Or Troll Hunters. Troll Hunters was like the most generic theme song ever. Just not the least bit compelling. Yeah, just not the least bit attention grabbing. And you know, I think Star versus the Forces of Evil was a really good intro, a good solid theme song. I don't know. Some of them were still good, but a lot of them were just kind of a letdown. Yeah, we'll see if the 2020s pick up with the themes. They picked up a little bit for theme song wise. Can tell you the theme song for Ghost and Molly McGee is great. Checked Madison's location. It shows she's at a Pilates place. She has titanium rods in her back, and she doing Pilates. Maybe there with a friend. Yeah, friend doing Pilates at 10 o'clock at night. That's the other thing. Who the hell's doing Pilates at almost 10 o'clock at night? After hours week, maybe. Yeah, that would make sense. Wait. On a Sunday. 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. Oh, yeah, we got to get our Pilates in. Chicago is Eastern, right? Or is Chicago Eastern or Central? I forget. Is Chicago Eastern time or Central time? All right. So 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. Still a very weird time to, yeah, still not a traditional time for Pilates. Fictional Lanford, Illinois. It's better to feed all day. There's no way. this last 10 minutes or so. We were just talking about the guy who killed Jesus. Well, he gave the order. Yeah, corner gas reference, yeah. Uncle Buck was saying that her daughter is at a Pilates place at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, which seems off. I haven't seen that show for ages. So yeah, her daughter's at a Pilates place, so I just want to reference the corner gas gag about Pilates being named after the guy who killed Jesus. Yeah, I've started a rewatch of it for my Patreon. 4 episodes in so far, so watched 4 episodes. I didn't actually watch one for last week. His name was Poncho Pilot. Forgot about that whole bit until he said that. All right, I'm gonna get going. I need to catch up on those Patreons tomorrow. Got the day off work, out of time shit to do here. I feel like I know Oscar IRL. A lot of people probably know an Oscar. There's probably I feel like a lot of people probably know an Oscar. Good night, Buttercup. And good night, everybody.